I'm Lauren Knausenberger, the Chief Information Officer of the Department of the Air Force, and I'm really excited to be here with you today to share some of our awesome stories of our airmen innovators and how they have unleashed their own bot minions across the Air and Space Force networks to just make their daily lives better and improve their ability to fight for you. Our journey began a few years ago when we have a program called Spark Tank in the Air Force. And we recognize that we are a huge enterprise, 750,000 people. We have to fulfill a pretty big mission. And our mission was born out of innovation a number of years ago when Jimmy Doolittle and the Doolittle Raiders they did the first attack off of an aircraft carrier, and that is really, and that surprised our enemy, and that is where the Air Force was born. And so we have always been an innovative force, but we also built up a lot of our force during the Cold War era. And so, like many large companies that have been around for decades, we are at a point where we really have to transform ourselves. And so programs like Spark Tank were put in place so that our airmen could tell us what problems they were facing every day. And one of our airmen, Sharad Overbay, who's pictured on the slide right now, just incredible airman. He was trying to help all of his fellow airmen and guardians with their permanent change of station. And so what that means is every 2 or 3 years, our military officers move all over the world. Sometimes they move by themselves to go into a combat zone. Sometimes they're moving their families, their spouses, their children, their pets. And there's a whole huge process that goes into doing that. And it is a little bit more complicated than just moving household goods. But even imagine having to move all of your house every 2 to 3 years, finding new schools for your kids, finding new doctors, making sure that your pets can be cared for. So in addition to all of those things, there's a lot of administration that goes in. And our PCS process was taking a really long time. And Sharad just felt that, he was spending so much of his time mired down in manual process, over 30 different transactions across multiple databases. Many of them have been around for a long time. Some of those applications he was interacting with were older than him. And so he was just thinking to himself, there has got to be a better way. I need to be focused on helping these families. I want to be talking to them. I want to help them to connect with their local community and make sure that, that they have sponsors when they show up in the area. They have folks to, go and have dinner with, and that they're not focused on the basics, of where is the truck or where's the paperwork or did I get my badge so that I can get onto base. And so Sharad partnered with UiPath, and he was able to automate the PCS process just within a few weeks. And they were able to cut out so much time per PCS. It had taken weeks, and he was able to do it in just a couple of hours to get through all of that. And this was with no coding experience. And at this point, it actually is saving us about 15,000 man hours a year just in his unit. So just really, really huge way forward. And it was so exciting to see Sharad on the stage at the Spark Tank competition, briefing our senior leaders in the Air Force on his incredible bot. And really after that happened, all of our senior leaders realized, wow, you know what? This was an incredible idea, but I bet there are 1,000 more ideas that we don't even know about right now. And we also recognize we don't have the bandwidth to go out and identify all of those. We have to ask our airmen. And so that came about the rise of the Digital Wingman Challenge. And we partnered with our former Vice Chief of Staff, General Sevi Wilson, and he put out a challenge to the force, co-sponsored with me and my role as the Chief Transformation Officer, our partners with AFWorks and our Strategic Studies Group, who also works with our foreign allies. And we put out to all of those partners and all of our airmen and guardians across the force, what are some of the biggest headaches in your job? Where are you wasting time? Where do you feel like you're kind of fighting IT and poor systems when you really just want to be fighting bad guys and keeping our country safe? And so we partnered with Bill Nystrom and UiPath. Bill is a former Air Force guy who actually came out of the space mission, and Bill. He had been telling me that he joined this incredible company, UiPath, because of the capabilities that he saw there. And so our airmen were working with Bill and his team at UiPath. They went through a bunch of training. Anyone could sign up and go through the training. And we had a competition where they had to basically tell us what is the problem in their way. How would they use the bots? And so we had so many airmen come up with so many great ideas, and they all just felt empowered to get rid of this manual process that they could see every day, that they knew was in their way. They wanted to be more focused on their mission. And they felt very validated and heard by us doing this competition. We were kind of joking for a little while that we should call it the Dear AI Robot, Please Come and Take My Job competition for a little while. So the airmen were having a lot of fun with it. Really, the combined efforts of all of these guys and many more, just from that challenge, we were able to save over 50,000 hours of manual data entry. We trained over 1,000 airmen. Some of them are still using this every day. Over 150 automations, 14,000 UiPath installations, and greater than 20 million estimated ROI. So just really, really huge impact to our warfighters. And and these guys, again, they signed up to do something awesome for their country, and we don't want them to be mired down in manual process. And you, in your organizations, you want people to be used the way that they are meant to be used, the way that they can create the most impact for your organization. And when people are kind of stuck doing manual process, that's not what's happening. So we were able to really empower these guys, and on average, reduce time by 75% on all of these projects. So that's been really exciting. And so you might ask, what's next? And we had a little bit of fun with the rise of the bot commander. Some cool patches. Of course, we have to have our Air Force hashtag automated AF, and yes, that does stand for Air Force. And you can probably find some bumper stickers around here at the conference somewhere. But this really got everyone jazzed. And so you might ask, what happens next? And really, across an organization of our size, we're going to continue to empower our airmen to solve their own problems using this. Now, from an enterprise perspective, I actually have two objectives. And one of my 4 pillars in my CIO strategy is to ruthlessly attack manual process. I have to create trade space as a CIO, so that we can continue to innovate, and so that we can continue to be, the world's greatest Air Force, and continue to be competitive in the digital domain as well. And so the way that I look at it, I want to continue to empower people to solve their own problems, but I also want to see all of that data. And sometimes we want people to continue to use bots to solve problems. And other times I want to use things like the orchestrator to see all of that data, and really have a business case almost developed automatically for me for where I need to fix my software. Because if I have many, many people that need to deploy a bot to pull data from different places, at the end of the day, that is telling me exactly how much time and money I'm wasting by not fixing that software. And so our roadmap is to continue to use bots in different places, to continue to use bots to find that next really hard problem that we need to get after, where we might not even, with the complexity of our enterprise, know what all of the steps are. And so it helps us to just really leap forward, take the savings now upfront, and then go back and be able to better prioritize exactly which projects we want to invest in, which software, because we do have limited resources, and it is expensive to replace systems as old as ours are and pull all of that data forward. We can't do it all at once. And so this has been just a really incredible experience for us. It's given us a chance to really celebrate our airmen and empower our airmen. And I'm just thrilled that I'm able to share this story with you today. Out here from DC. Take care, guys.